In this video, we will be translating verbal phrases into math type. So by the end of this video, we should be able to write a phrase that's written in words using math numbers, variables, and operators. So for example, when I see the phrase 10 times a number is equal to 4 plus 12, I'll be able to write what you see in red, 10x equals 4 plus 12. So first of all, to do this, we will be writing both expressions and equations. So we need to know what is the difference between an expression and an equation. An expression uses numbers and variables, but it does not use an equal sign. So for example, 2x plus 7 is one expression, and 3 plus 5 is another expression. Equations, on the other hand, still have numbers and variables, but you're comparing two different expressions with the equal sign. So you are using the equal sign to compare two expressions. So using the same two expressions, making those an equation would say that 2x plus 7 equals 3 plus 5. Okay, so now that is an equation because we have used the two expressions and stated they are equal, meaning they have the exact same value. The first step in writing verbal expressions and equations is going to be to know what the words for the different symbols or synonyms for these symbols. So for example, this plus sign, we would write that in words saying add, sum, or plus are all options you would see to know that you need to write the plus sign. The subtraction symbol, so that is subtraction or subtract. Difference, so find the difference between two numbers. Minus, and you may also see less than. So like, how much less than 10 is 4? But be careful with that one because that also is the less than symbol. So we want to make sure we're kind of looking at the phrase to make sure we're using the correct symbol. All right, we have this multiplication sign. So if we see the words multiply, we would use that. Product, so the product of 5 and 10, or the word times, 3 times 5. And our last operator is going to be this division sign. So we might be told to divide two numbers. Oops, let me get that back on screen. So we might be told to divide two numbers. This is also called a quotient. Lastly, we cannot forget about our equal sign. So to write equals, we might see the words equals, is, or same. So like 5 is the same as 2 plus 3. Okay, let's get started with a couple examples. So example number 1, we want to write the product of 3 and 4x. All right, because we see this word product here, that is a synonym for multiplication, meaning we're going to have to use some form of multiplication. So that could be, we've used the x in the past, but we see we're going to have an x in this phrase, so that might not be the best to use. We could also use a dot, or we could use parentheses. So I'm going to write this one with parentheses, 3 times 4x. And that's it, we're done with that one. So let's go on to example 2. 24 minus 10 is the same as a number plus 2. Let's break this down a little bit. So 24 minus 10 is the same as, that is what's telling us to write an equal sign. So I'm going to write that right below it. All right, let's look to the left of the equal sign. 24 minus 10, so I'm just going to write 24 minus 10. And lastly, a number plus 2. So when we see the phrase a number, we don't know what number it is. We don't know what value it has. So we are going to use a variable. I typically just use x. So x plus 2 is what that is asking us to write. So altogether, this is 24 minus 10 equals x plus 2. In example 3, we're going to write twice x minus 3. So in this case, twice is telling us to use multiplication, right? We want double x. So we're going to do 2x minus 3. In example 4, we have the difference between 9 and x. The word difference is a synonym for subtraction, so we're going to subtract 9 minus x. And our last example, 7 less than 20. This one's a little bit unique because we are actually going to switch the order of 7 and 20. But if that's a little bit weird to remember, I like to give it a context. So for example, money is an easy context, so let's say this is $7 less than $20. If you have $7 less than $20, how much money do you have? And that's going to be a little bit of a tip-off on how to write this. So I'm going to write this 20 minus 7, because if I do have 7 less than $20, I should have 13, and I know that 20 minus 7 is 13. That is it. Good luck practicing.